Islamist things, and we've got the Islamic State. Just call it the Islamic State. It simplifies things greatly. The president insists on calling it ISIL. He's the only one that calls it. Him and the people that work for him call it ISIL. It's the Islamic State in the Levant. Covers the entire geographic region there. Most people call it ISIS, the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, various other permutations on that theme. But it turns out that the United States of America really doesn't have a strategy when it comes to dealing with the menace that is the blood-sopped gang of ghouls known as the Islamic State. And appropriately so, known as the Islamic State. At long last, we have proper label for what we talk. Forget about that Al-Qaeda thing, Arabic for the base. Yeah, the base, whatever. Call it the Islamic State. That's what it ought to be called. Forget about ISIS, forget about ISIL. The Islamic State. Chris Matthews can't decide whether Iraq is Mesopotamia or whether it's Iraq or whether it's not a nation at all. He's very easily confused. He's insane, so that's one of the advantages he has on the rest of us. But I want to put to you, here's what I want to do. I want to help out the White House this morning. I want you, the collective brain trust of the Washington metropolitan area and beyond, to participate in coming up with a strategy for the United States of America and for the White House, for the President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama II, because they can't seem to come up with one on their own. It's, well, we're going to bomb in northern Iraq, but we might bomb in Syria, but if we are going to bomb in Syria, we can't really decide who we're going to bomb. Well, we go after Islamic State targets, but we might also have to go after Assad targets, because if we're just bombing the Islamic State in Syria, then really we've become Bashar al-Assad's Air Force. And that gets kind of weird, because just last week we were condemning him and he's a terrible person, and Barack Obama said he's got to go, and he drew a red line in the sand trap and all this stuff, and so we don't want to find ourselves in a position of being, doing Assad's bidding for him, using the might of the U.S. military to kill Assad's enemies so that Assad can stay in power. That would be crazy, because, he's our enemy too. So Barack Obama has painted himself into this corner where he's sworn he won't use ground troops, but we might have to have a certain number of troops on the ground. That would be on the ground. That would be advisors to the Iraqi military and advisors to the Peshmerga in the north, the Kurdish fighting forces, and